Hello folks and welcome to the Vertigo Tea Party and let's try Combat Monsters. It's by Rubicon Development. It is a turn-based tactical card game. It's available for Windows, Android, and iOS, with Mac quote-unquote coming soon. It's on Steam Greenlight, so make sure to vote for it if you like what you see. I will put all relevant links in the description below the video, and it is free to play. Now I know. A lot of you have a negative reaction to things that are free to play, myself included. But absolutely give this game a chance because it deserves it. Do not judge too quickly or too harshly on this game because I've actually quite enjoyed it so far, spoiler alert. So let's hop right into the single player. I'm going to go to the easy quest. I've actually beat the easy quest. There is a tutorial quest which teaches you how all this works. I'm going to try to give you the basics, but I'm going to try to also avoid going too much into depth on the individual mechanics because again, the game itself does a very, very good job of teaching people who are not used to this type of card game, or any card game at all, how all these things work. I don't play card games very much at all. I watch Hearthstone on occasion, so I understand the very basics. So if a lot of this seems confusing, or if I'm not explaining it that well, which I almost certainly won't, don't be scared off. The game's not overly complicated, at least to learn. It does a very, very good job of teaching you how it works. So let's pick a match here. I don't want a mirror match. Archery can go one way or the other very quickly, or against an archer. Damn it, come on. What's the first one? We'll go against this guy, Raynor. There are 3 different classes that both the hero that you control and the monsters that you summon belong to: warrior, mage, or archer. You can also redeal your cards. I'm going to choose not to. Warriors obviously have to get into melee, but tend to have the most hit points. Archers can attack from range, from 2 to 3 range, but they cannot attack at point blank range. They also have the lowest amount of hit points. Casters can attack from 1 to 2 squares away, or circles in this case, but also tend to have special abilities. So here is our playing field. This is different every time that you play. So the last time I played this guy, this field was different. I'm almost positive. So the idea is for me to kill his unit. I can use my monsters, I can use spells, whatever it takes. I need to kill this enemy unit. And of course, he needs to kill mine. Now you have a deck of cards. I have this deck that I probably should have customized a bit before I started. But you have a deck of cards, and at the beginning of play, it draws 5 randomly from your deck. So you don't get to choose what you want from the deck. And also, every round, you get another new card as well. So let's go ahead and move closer. These tiles are special. This tile, if I land on this tile, while this unit is on this tile, it gets a +2 defensive bonus. If they land on this tile, and I start my round on that tile, I'll get an extra 5 or extra 1 point of mojo. Mojo is what you use to pull cards out, and we'll go over that in just a second. And this card actually is really interesting. It cures bad afflictions, like if you have a burn on you that's doing damage, this will cure that. But it also gives you a +2 health for every round that you're on that square, which is actually quite interesting. I've never seen a board quite set up like this. So what I'm going to do is summon Shane, the werewolf, which is a great word, or a great name for a werewolf, by the way. We're going to summon him. We're actually going to put him on that. And you'll see why that is, hopefully later, unless he gets killed. Now you'll see when I summon him, it said 4 on his card, and now I have no mojo. Let's look at the cards so that we understand how that works. And again, sorry I'm kind of rushing through this, but there's a lot to cover. And if you feel like this is like, whoa, overwhelming, just pick this up, play the tutorial. It's very, very, very easy to understand. This is how much mojo, or mana if you've played other card games like this, that it costs to summon this spell. This you can mostly ignore, that's just the rarity of the card. The red fist is how much damage it does on its attack. The green heart is how much health it has. Here are any special abilities that unit has. This one doesn't have any. And this is the synergy. All monster cards belong to a race, and every race has perks. For orcs, it's all orcs get a +1 damage for each other friendly orc in play. which can stack up pretty well. It's an okay racial. So we're actually going to see, do we have any 5-mana cards? No. You could also right-click on our guy and see his cards. Now, I only regen 4 mojo per round, and some of my cards cost 5 mojo. So that's something to keep in mind. However, actually, you know what? He can't get to me in the time it's going to take to get across the board. So I actually am going to have him move onto here so that I get an extra mojo next turn. I am out of moves, so let's go ahead and hit OK. Every unit can move and attack in a round. Ooh, he cast a spell, draw an extra card. Nice. You also do get cards that they're just spells that you can cast. Again, like he cast a spell to draw an extra card. Now you see, I got 5 mojo. I get an extra for being here. Now this werewolf has 5 hit points. I'm actually going to leave him on that square one more round. This may or may not work out well. Now, here is a lizard warrior. Lizards are, in my opinion, by far the greatest minion. Because of this, all lizards get +2 damage when they kill a creature. Now they start off with 2 damage, which is pretty typical. After killing one creature, they do 4 damage per hit. That one-shots almost any creature I've seen up to this point. So if they kill even one more, this puts them up to 6. And it becomes a domino effect where they just one-shot kill everything to the point where they're doing insane damage. At one point, I had a lizard doing like 16 damage a hit. It was insane. Obviously, once he gets close to the hero, he completely obliterates the hero. So what we're going to do is the king only does 2 damage, and Saigo has 5 hit points, which makes him an incredible card. We're going to move you here because, again, you can move and attack. Warriors can also move twice. Obviously, they sacrifice an attack so that they can move. For some reason, your hero cannot do that. Your hero, even though they're a warrior, cannot do that. I don't quite understand that. But anyway, we are going to summon Saigo right here. Now, when you summon a unit, you'll see this blue circular haze around him. That means that he's got summoning sickness. He can attack, but he cannot move. So he is actually going to attack this mage and kill him. And that is going to bring his damage up to +2. And let's see, we'll go ahead and keep Mr. Werewolf here on this square for at least one more round. Again, that will make more sense later on, I promise. So hopefully they can't kill him. He is going to damage him, though, because he's a jerk. So he's down to 2 hit points, which is not good. So we have a choice. I am going to attack him because this is a mage. The enemy hero is a mage. So if I try to run this guy away, he still can hit him because, again, he has a range of 1 to 2. So I'm doing 6 damage with him now. I'm going to move up this hero. And now I'm going to try to abuse the AI here a bit. I don't know if it's going to actually fall for it, but I'm going to try. The enemy hero here does 2 damage. So I'm hoping he's going to be dumb enough to attack one of my orcs instead. Now my orc is going to blast him. And if he doesn't, I'm going to make him pay for it anyway. So we'll see how this works out. We'll leave this guy. Getting him a lot of hit points. Unfortunately, he did take him out. And I'm sure he's going to summon a card here shortly. Yep. On the defensive square, which is a pretty smart move. Now, my hero has a ton of hit points. He have 45 to start with. So, all right. Now, time to punish him for that. Now, we got 4 mojo. This guy has combustion. Attack with an additional +5 if the target... Oh, that's combustion. And unfortunately, that's great if I have a fireball wielder, which I don't. So it's not really worth doing that. So instead... Now, I actually learned this the hard way last time. This game, you absolutely want to focus on killing the minions as fast as possible until you get a point where you're a critical mass of minions. Unfortunately, he's on the defensive square, So that's going to make that, well, pretty much impossible at this point. So we will go ahead and, again, we have to get through the shielding. We can't even get through the shielding because it's too shielding. Well, I guess actually he could. He could break the shielding, which he's going to do. And then I will do 1 damage with the hero. Yeah, go ahead and do damage. And actually, I forgot I can summon as well. Now, I've got a butcher's knife, and I'll show you that here in a bit. But let's... Of course, I don't have... unfortunately, the card you start with, for the most part, are pretty crappy. Because their enemy equivalent most of the times equal, but sometimes their cards are way better. It's like, wow, this kind of sucks. We are going to... Unfortunately, we cannot kill this guy this round, but if nothing else, we can give him some more targets to attack. So we're going to summon him. And if he lives, I'll also get an extra mojo next round, which will be pretty useful. And I have not forgot about the werewolf at the bottom. And again, I promise there is a reason why I'm letting him get a lot of hit points. And again, I like the animations of, like, if you're shooting through an enemy, they, like, jump out of the way. So we really need to get this square back. See, this range, man, he gets so many range. Range overall seem way better. They have less hit points, but being able to shoot from range, and especially because you can move and shoot, is really, really good. Now, let's go ahead and use a rune. I'm going to use this mostly just to show you how this works. Rune are abilities that permanent throughout the match. But you can only cast them on these, like, rune stones that are your color. So I can only use runes here, and he can only use runes there. So I'd be limited to 2 runes in this, which I've only got 2 runes, so that works out. But it's 5 mojo, so it's quite expensive. However, it gives all of my creatures 1 armor, which I love armor, but it doesn't give your hero. A lot of things don't affect your hero, which kind of sucks, but I can kind of see that being a bit of a problem. So again, this guy's got 2 armor. It's a pain in the ass, so we're going to actually kill his mage to get him out of play, and so he doesn't get that mojo benefit at the beginning of the next round. I'm gonna go ahead and move myself here. Excuse me, move myself there though, so that I do get that benefit. Okay, he's going to attack my hero, which again I'm not too worried about right now. Still got a lot of hit points. He just keeps healing himself to make him an even bigger pain in the ass to kill. Okay. Alright, so this guy's got 13 hit points now. So what we're going to do is use Berserk. Now, Berserk I normally really do not like. Because it gives you a +5 damage bonus, which is great. But it also increases the amount of damage he takes by 2 for every single attack that he takes. Which is pretty insane given he starts really low. But because we started next to a health power-up, I went ahead and dropped him there. So it's actually very, very useful in this case. So we are actually going to have him Berserk. I don't think you can cast it on anyone else. And let's see, we still have 5 mojo. Now, I can either give an enemy or give someone this Butcher's Axe, and I'm thinking about giving it to my hero. Or I can summon another unit. My units are kind of shitty. They're all 1 damage and 4 hit points. So not that great, especially when he's got a bunch of ranged. I want to take this human out. So let's go ahead. Let's draw the dwarf. The dwarfs have an interesting racial in that they get bonuses. They get a bonus. They get bonus damage every time they're attacked but not killed, which I think is pretty fitting, frankly. Alright, so not much I can do there. Let's go ahead and move him over so I get extra mojo at least. Or is he already attacked? Oh, he has not. Sweet. Alright, so I pushed him off of that square. So now, can I move still? Oh, I can. Yes, I want to take this armor square, mostly just to keep him from using it. So now let's attack him. So yeah, for some reason I was thinking he couldn't use his push. So yeah, obviously you can see how that's useful in that scenario. And the reason I'm not moving him, I can move the werewolf. In fact, maybe I should. But I want to keep him out of range. This guy's doing 5 damage. Good lord. Why is he doing so much damage? Each time any friendly monster dies. Oh, okay. I kind of want to take him out first. Because again, he'll take 7 damage just from this guy who is ranged. And then another 4 from him. So that could actually kill him almost. So yeah, we're going to not do that. We're going to let him sit there for another round. And now he actually can still attack the werewolf, but he won't kill him. They'll almost certainly kill this golem guy. Okay, he healed the hero, which I'd rather him do that than actually attack, frankly. So now this werewolf is at the 15 hit points. Now the question is, do I give the werewolf the butcher's axe, or do I give it to my hero? I think I'm going to give it to the hero. Or I could summon an orc archer. Tell you what, we're going to move the werewolf here. This way, I can hit him without these guys being able to hit the werewolf. And there's another big benefit werewolves get. They get +3 hit points every time they kill something. So picking these guys off from the back would be very, very handy. So you go ahead. You move here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll only have 3 left, so I can't summon anything. I'm gonna go ahead and give my hero. You know what? This guy only has 1 hit point, so let's kill him. We've got to get our werewolf in play here shortly. And I'd like to get the orc guy in play, but he'll die pretty much immediately. Do we have any orcs? Orcs get a +1 damage for every orc in play. I don't have any other orcs. But we'll go ahead and play this guy. So this way he can get, well, I've only got 1. So let's go and attack. Get a free damage on him. We'll leave him there, generating a little extra mojo. So right now, the enemy is in big trouble, to say the least. Because I have, well, right now I have 4 minions on the field. And he only has 1, and he's about to have none. So we're going to move our werewolf friend up. And because he does 7 damage, we're going to take this guy out immediately. And it's going to give us 2 hit points. So this is honestly the only time I've ever seen Berserk be useful and not a death trap. So we can go ahead and summon yet another minion here. But I don't think it'll be worth it overall. You know what? We're about to start beating up on the hero. Let's use this rune. This rune gives all your monsters +2 against heroes. Except you. Doesn't count to you. So we're going to use this rune. Because again, we're going to start smashing the hero. Now I should have used that before I had the orc attack. Or wait, no, that was last round. So he's actually going to do 3 damage instead of just 1. And all that might not seem like much, but believe me, it adds up. So we want to start trying to surround this hero. And again, he gets his attack. So that was an extra 4 damage that round. Just from using that rune. So he's down to 22 hit points. Nobody else can move. He can move technically, but I kind of want the extra mana because I kind of want to overwhelm him at this point. Because this is the 3rd time I've actually recorded this. The first time, technical issues. 2nd time, I just did a really poor job of showing the game off. And the last game, I was like, okay, the enemy cannot possibly win, and they still won. So I don't want that to happen again. Now he used a magical shield, which nullifies the next attack. So what we're going to do to maximize our abilities here, we're going to use our hero, since he does low damage, to attack him, break the shield. And then we'll use the werewolf to finish him off and to get the 2 extra hit points. And we will move him up. So now this guy is in the danger zone. We'll put the orc archer here so that if he survives until my next round, which he probably won't, I will get an extra mojo. Oh, and I also have 2 to use the butcher's axe, so I will put that on myself. So I'm up to 3 damage. And as you can see, the enemy is in big trouble here. The one they really need to focus on is my werewolf. The AI tends to be really bad about ignoring, like, it's okay at deciding who's the most dangerous, but if I was the AI, I would be focusing 100% of my effort on killing this werewolf because he is a monster. So he's going to do 9 damage. Pretty damn impressive to say the least. And just to keep our lead here, see, I can't, actually, yes, I can. We're going to move this guy over, and we're going to kill this guy. Because, again, I'm trying to keep his minions all dead so that he can't possibly come back. See, he already attacked. Go ahead and smash him. I could probably start moving this golem around at this point as well. Because I really don't... in fact, I'm going to do that. And because he's a warrior, I can move him twice. And we don't have any other range. Oh, wait. Yes, here we go. A Cyclops Mage. So we will drop him there. Again, he will probably get killed because he'll probably summon a ranged creature and then attack him himself, and then the ranged creature will kill it. Or maybe not. So he is focusing on the werewolf, which, you know, he should be because the werewolf is a sick bastard. And it's funny because I've constantly complained about how crappy I think Berserk is. And in this scenario, it's actually worked out very, very handily. So let's go ahead and we're going to kill him, giving him yet another 2 hit points. And walk up here. The big thing that saves Berserk for werewolves is the plus 2 hit points every time you kill an enemy. That's a pretty nice deal. I really, really like the racial traits in this game. Yeah, for the most part. Elves, I think, are crap. Elves are just junk. Unless there's some super interesting way to use them, I find them really, really crappy. Because their bonus is like +2 to health if they're the only race you're using. That's insanely limiting for a minuscule upgrade. Now, if it's +2 health for every elf you're using while not using any other race, then that's pretty nice. But I don't think that's the case. Anyway, so let's go ahead and we are going to... What is this? Dinky is a dwarven warrior. Warrior. Dinky. Let's summon Dinky. I'm sure he'll die, but give this guy more targets. And again, this is pretty much what I like to call the mop-up phase. Now, Crush. Attack and daze the target. Cannot attack or use abilities, which is pretty sick to use against this guy, but I'm going to do it anyway. So he can't attack me now. He can still summon more creatures, but he can't attack. He pushed the target 1 space. Well, it's not very useful right now. We're just going to smack him. And this guy's days are pretty much numbered. He's only got 1 hit point left. So I think it's pretty safe to say at this point that it's impossible for him to come back. And you see again why it's so important to keep the minion advantage here. Because it is literally impossible for him to come back at this point. Or even several steps back. Once I got probably 3 or 4 minions, or even 3 minions and he had none, I think it became pretty much impossible for him to win. So let's go ahead and kill him just for fun. Just because I like making ridiculously overpowered creatures. And we'll finish him off. And there you go. Now, normally when you're doing the campaign, when you beat a stage, you get a few ruby coins. Ruby coins are the in-game currency, and I want to talk about that here shortly. So that is the campaign. So if you're not in the multiplayer, which I'm not really that into the multiplayer aspects, they do have a full campaign. The easy quest probably took me about... All of this took me about 2 hours? 2-3 hours, something like that. I'm guessing medium would probably take longer. As you can see, as you beat challenges, it opens up various things. And anything with a card, you get a card when you finish it. And then there's hard. There's also challenge mode. Basically, it's where they give the AI way better cards than you, and you have to beat them. But you do get ruby coins for winning. So even after you complete the campaign, you can keep doing challenges once you've really learned the game. So let's look at the other aspects of this game. There's a battle replay. I have not tried this, but I think it works as a replay system. So I'm assuming like all the matches must be stored online, and if you get the number for another match, you could put it here and watch it, which is a really, really cool feature. I would rather have some kind of a browser, but as kind of an introductory thing, this is pretty neat if it works the way I'm talking about. Then there's multiplayer. Pass and play, that is where you and, let's say, one friend sit at one computer, and I'll make my turn, then I'll kind of scooch over, and then you'll make your turn, and then I'll scooch back over. So it's just a back and forth. It's only 1v1 for that pass and play. There's also going to be scheduled tournaments, a sit and go tournament. I'm not 100% sure what that is. You can also create a private match. And with private matches, and I also think pass and play. Yes, also pass and play and join a private. You don't get Ruby coins, but you can invite your friends up to between 2 to 6 players total and just duke it out, but you don't get the Ruby coins. There's also just basically the lobby. Again, you can join games anywhere from 1v1 versus 6 players total, all on their own, which is, I imagine the 6 players is pretty damn hectic. I have not tried it myself because, like I said, I don't really care too much about the multiplayer, but I think that's probably the allure for most folks. But there is that single player there if you're like me and kind of just want to relax and play some games by yourself. So let's look at the deck editor. This is obviously going to be very important. The top here, this is all the cards that you have. All the grayed out cards are ones that I already have dragged down here. This is the deck that you take into battle. If you're not familiar with card games, what this is you pick the cards you want. Say, this is my deck. These are the cards that I want. And then when you go into battle, it randomly picks 5 cards to start with, and then every round you get another random card. So you might say, well, why not just put every single card you have in there? The reason is, look at cards like this, the crappy elves cards. Because if I draw a bunch of elves, then I'm like, why did I hate that I got these elves. I'd much rather have gotten, these casters or these, the lizard guys or what have you. So I'm going to put all those down there. The idea is to make a balanced deck so that no matter what you're getting, you're not based on one certain creature. You're not based around one certain type of unit, because if you get unlucky on card draws, then you're boned. You shouldn't be building your deck around the idea that, oh, well, I'll have a perfect mixture of melee, casters, and archers, because realistically that's probably not going to happen just due to luck of the draw. So that's part of the strategy of building your deck so that no matter what card you draw, for the most part, you can deal with whatever's being thrown at you. And you can also save as. So if you're like, I'm going to try this completely different deck build, you can just save as and have different versions of the decks, which is pretty cool. Let's see. They also have a really nice tutorial section. Again, they have the tutorial campaign, but they also have all this information that explains the game. It explains the buying the Ruby coins. This game does a very, very good job, in my opinion, of explaining all the various aspects of the game. Any questions I had, for the most part, were answered either in the tutorial or in this help section. So they did a fantastic job there, in my opinion. Now, let's look at the marketplace. This is the part that's going to rub some people the wrong way. It's free to play, it's pay to win, blah, blah, blah. Not to get too distracted by that whole discussion, but understand that card games have worked this way for a long time, where you buy your cards, and the strength of your deck was not only how well you planned it, but how many cards you had at your disposal. So that is kind of part and parcel with the whole card strategy game thing. But keep in mind, you can get Rubicons just from playing the game. Granted, you get them pretty slowly, but you can buy pretty much everything that you would want with the coins that you would get just from playing the game. So there's one important thing I want to point out. Well, first off, here's the deal of the day. Every day, they have a card or a pack or whatever that is cheaper than it normally would be that you can buy for Ruby coins, which I think is a good idea. Keeps you constantly checking. These are the treasure chests. These are the equivalent of going to the store and buying a pack of random cards. You can get them for 400, 1,200, 4,000, or 30,000. And depending on how much you pay, you get X number of cards. The important feature being how many are guaranteed. So if you buy a mini chest, it's only 400 Ruby coins, but it's only 6 cards and it's just completely random. You might get a bunch of common cards, which aren't that good. You might get 6 legendaries. Almost certainly not going to happen, but technically it could. Full chest, you get 12 cards, but it guarantees that you get at least 1 rare, 3 uncommons, and at least 1 monster. You obviously might get more, but you get minimum of that. And then the mega chest, you get 1 legendary card, at least 3 rare cards, 8 uncommon, and again, at least 1 monster. Now you might, maybe that's saying that you definitely get 3 rares and absolutely no more, but I'm not 100% sure on that, because it does say at least 1 monster, but it does not say at least 3 rare cards. So maybe you always get 3 rares. Not 100% sure on that. But anyway, so you buy those chests to enhance your deck. Now here's where you buy the actual coins. If you're like, you know what, I really like this game, I'm willing to invest some money in it in order to build my deck faster. You can buy 6,000 for $5, 16,000 for 10, etc., etc. Now, this is a really cool idea, and I think those of you who like this game, but really don't want to take forever to build a deck, very seriously consider this. I think this is a great idea. It's called the Tripler. What it does is you pay $3 for the Tripler, and then forever, for the time that you own the account, every time you get Ruby coins from battles or achievements, it triples them. So if you finish it, normally you'd get 100 Ruby coins, you would now get 300. If you finish an achievement and normally you'd get 1,000, now you get 3,000. I think that's an absolutely great way to get into the game at a very, very cheap price without taking forever to build a halfway decent deck. So I think that's a really good idea. Anyone who's even halfway interested, $3 is really, really low amount of money to get into that. Now, here's another thing that I find quite interesting with the coins, and we'll go over the heroes in a second, is referral codes. Let's say that I want to, say I have a friend who I got into the game, and they're like, I really like this, I'm going to buy 10,000 coins. Well, when they go to buy, they are asked for a referral code. If they put your referral code in, 2 things happen. One, they get 50% again as many coins as they were going to get. So if they were buying 10,000, they would get 15, or if they were going to buy 10,000, they would get 15,000. Also, you get the half again coins. So in this case, since they got 5,000 extra coins, you would get 5,000 coins just for them using a referral code. I think that's a super idea to get your friends playing, especially if you have a group of friends who are into this type of game. Now, the one drawback is they can only use your code once. So if they buy 10,000 now and later decide to buy 50,000, they can't use your code again. Now, I think they could use someone else's code. I'm not 100% sure on that or how that works, but I think that's a really neat way to help get you into the game. Especially, again, if you're not the type who wants to spend a lot of money on cards, but or coins, but you have friends who might, it'd be a great way to get coins for yourself on top of buying the Tripler. Again, for only $3, it's hard to complain about that. Also, there's other heroes that you can pick. You get Doc Payne for free, your basic warrior hero, and you can pick mage heroes. And there's the cards also indicate the green is archer, red is melee, and then your purple, that's purple, right? Whatever. Is the caster types, so you can pick up additional heroes for 3,000 coins a piece. They also have a few ways to get free coins, liking them on Facebook, watching advertisements. They also have this system where if you're friends on Facebook with people who have the game, you can get extra coins. I'm not 100% sure how that works, but again, it's in the help information, so you can find all of that there. And I really think it's cross-platform. I think it's really neat that if I play online, I could be playing with people who are on an Android phone or iOS. This really, and the reason that's important is because it increases the amount of people that you can play with. So you're not sitting around for 20 minutes waiting for a match. Again, I haven't tried the multiplayer yet, so I don't know if there's a typical wait time or what the typical wait time is for matches. But so you might want to check that out yourself if you're really into the multiplayer before you spend any money. Again, remember, it is free to play to check it out. So that is Combat Monsters. I really like this game. I have to say that when I first saw the trailers and whatnot, I was like, yeah, this looks kind of lame. This looks kind of like crappy shovelware, frankly. But then when I played it, I got hooked. I kept saying during the main campaign, I kept saying, well, you know, I'm just going to play to here, and then I'm going to stop. And it's like, well, let me grab these cards real quick. Then I'll stop. Then I'll record this video. Well, you know what? Let me drop down here and do a few more. Well, yeah. I basically ended up spending 2 to 3 hours telling myself I'm going to stop any minute to record, and it never happened. So yeah, it's quite a lot of fun. Absolutely check this out. Again, I will put links in the description below the video so that you can take a look at it. Again, it's free to play. Don't let that push you off. It's a lot of fun to play, so make sure to check it out. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this, and I'll see you next time.